hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And
Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulty. Facebook was being a pain in the ass.
That's it. Well, they are always, but it is Friday in the rib, and we got a ton of stuff to talk about today. Where do we begin? I don't even know. Well,
we can only imagine.
Well, let's talk about. We talked about that issue that we were trying to get to the bottom of, and we did receive further information about that. More
than further information.
Yeah, we got more than further information. We actually have a timeout. We actually have a document.
I've got the document too.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Dear Superintendent Curley.
Yeah,
I am writing to you as the Vice President of the Samuel Watson PTO to formally request or report a pattern of criminal misconduct, professional intimidation, and a total failure of administrative oversight. PTO President Andrew McIntyre, a district employee, misappropriated $2,600 in scholastic funds from May 2025, as well as more unpaid balances from the school year, and was caught by a staff member stealing Christmas gifts for families. The principal was aware of this and facilitated an unauthorized private payment plan rather than reporting the crimes. Since September, I have repeatedly reached out to the principal for guidance. It is now clear that my trust and naivete as a parent volunteer were weaponized against me. I was led to believe the school was handling things when in reality they were using the time to silence me, protect a dishonest employee, and allow for the discussion of destruction of financial evidence. I requested a formal audit of the PTO Monday, December 15th, at a board meeting. Instead of securing the records, Mr. McIntyre, at a later date, not to my knowledge, dissolved the PTO and closed the bank account, to destroying the audit trail. I believe giving those funds to Ms. Woods. Let's see.
At the school dance on December 17th, I witnessed a disturbing verbal altercation between Mr. McIntyre and the student adjustment counselor, SAC. This argument took place in a setting intended for students and family. Following his exchange with the SAC, Mr. McIntyre turned his aggression toward me and verbally attacked me, highlighted, parenthesis, verbally attacked me in front of others. This volatile behavior, combined with financial allegations, make it clear that he is an unstable presence in our school community. On Friday, December 20th, the SAC had me go to the bank with them, but specifically instructed me not to reach out or speak further about this matter so the principal could, quote, enjoy, unquote, her holiday. I find it deeply disturbing that school staff were directing me to remain silent about potential felonies, stating we would address these issues after winter break. I did not hear from either the SAC uh, until today, texting me about Andrew dissolving the PTO and maybe restarting in the future. I am now formally notifying the district that I fear for the safety of my children. Mr. McIntyre is a cafeteria worker with daily direct access to my children. Given that he has been caught stealing from families and has used intimidation tactics against me, I do not believe he should be around students. Because of the lack of transparency and communication from Principal Wood, I believe I'm being boxed out and silenced because the school administration is trying to hide a massive failure in oversight. I am requesting an immediate investigation into the principal's handling of these thefts and the safety of the school environment. Sincerely, I'm not going to give you the name, but this is what we've got. These are allegations, obviously, but they are very, very serious. I'll tell you what, stealing money from the PTO is bad enough, but they had me at stealing Christmas gifts.
Christmas gifts.
This is outrageous, but listen, let's be oh yeah, well, we'll get to the CPA. We got also a lot of stuff. This is outrageous. Look, we all know that this city has had numerous cover-ups. I can say that they go back years, and it's true. I know where they covered up. If you were connected in this city, you always got away with stuff. But it's gone to a completely unprecedented level under the Coogan administration. How a school principal I want to know, as a taxpayer, if that school principal informed the superintendent. What gave her the authority to set up a repayment plan? The man committed a felony. He stole money, stole public funds. And then if he was verbally abusive, that's another issue. But then he stole Christmas presents. I mean, this is outrageous. I mean, at North Korea, it's like being an open society compared to the school department. The school department is the king of the cover-ups. This is. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Fall River Police should be involved. I think the state police or somebody from the Attorney General's office or somebody from the Higher Education Board should be involved in this thing, in addition to police. I mean, this is.
From what I have been apprised of,
it's mind-boggling.
Yep. From what I've been apprised of, this complaint has allegedly been forwarded to the Fall River Police Department, the District Attorney, the Inspector General, the Massachusetts Attorney General, and I can tell you for a fact, that the following individuals have received a copy of this complaint. So there's no question about it on who got it. And here's the list of people who got this complaint. T. Curley, that's the superintendent, at fallriverschools.org. K. Almeida, B. Lally, Mayor, Deb Cabral, she's the secretary for the school department. Kevin Aguiar, Tom Corey, Bailey, Colin Dias, Mimi Larrabee, and Shelley Pereira.
Not on the school committee anymore.
Right. Some of those people aren't on the school committee anymore.
Yeah, and James, you're right. There has to be accountability. This is outrageous. And this is. I mean, these are stealing. Look, we know there are thieves. We're all big. We're all adults here. We know that there are people in this society, unfortunately, that are just thieves. And that's bad enough. We steal Christmas gifts, but we're in a school environment, children. I mean, school gifts for kids, for Christmas gifts. I mean, that's just beyond the pale. But it's the lack of accountability everywhere. We know what happened with the head of security. We know what the head of security was alleged to have done. We know that he got a year with pay, with full pay, and he never showed up for work.
That's right.
And I can guarantee you one thing. He retired. If I would have known that allegation when he retired, I would have tried to take that year of credit away, because the statute in the retirement system says you have to actually work. I mean, but this is everything in this city, whether it's DCM, it's always a cover-up. You know why? It's so corrupt that everybody that gets busted has got something on somebody else that they want to protect.
That's right.
This makes, this is, I mean, just look at this. This is a nationwide epidemic. It's like Minnesota. Look at what they're doing in Minnesota. You got the entire Democratic government up there. All the Democrats are trying to cover up billions and billions of dollars worth of fraud by deflecting things. Oh, don't pick on the Somalis. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's no accountability. This is why they hate Trump. They hated Elon Musk, because they go in there and they go, look at all this. They're stealing. They're stealing your money. We're in trouble. We all got a tax bill. Our tax bills all went up. We're paying this guy.
And did you notice your property value went up about $100,000?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Why? Because they need extra money.
Yeah, of course.
So they're locked in at 2.5%. So, hey, raise the property value.
Yeah, and then they'll say, well, we didn't raise your taxes. Yes, you did. You raised our property value.
That's right.
There's a way around everything. Nobody cares about the average taxpayer. But now on the thing they want to talk about, and build a fire station in the Duval corridor.
That's right.
For looks. Just like we had to put $7 million down there for lights. We're going to build a fire station so we can say, oh, look, the Duval corridor's got its own little fire station. Well, horseshit. There's a fire station at the top of President Avenue. You know what gravity is? You go faster down than you go up. You know, the thing is, you can't go up. You go down. That apparatus can get there in ample time within the NFPA standards. They're not worried about how many men are on a freaking truck, but they want to build a fire station for decorative purposes down at the Duval corridor. Okay? That's horse shit. That's absolute horse shit. I put a plan out 30 years ago or more to build fire stations on the perimeter of the city. I actually had a study done by the International Association of Firefighters. We gave them a city map and said, they have a program that does this. Give us the locations of fire stations which will allow us to stay on the outside of the city and run in like the spokes of a wheel, which modern firefighting, and anybody who knows anything about firefighting knows that's the best way to do it. Not be in the center of the city and have to fight center city traffic to get to the outskirts of the city. You come in from the outside. So you come in from the outside, and we would have cut it down to 3 stations. We could have cut an entire task force out and taken all the men on those 3 on that task force and distributed them in the other. And we would have had maximum manning on all the trucks. So there would have been no cut in personnel, but more effective fire safety. And you know what they did? Nothing. But now the Duval corridor and all the Richie Riches are going to get a fire station so they can say, oh, look, we got our own fire station over here just for us. You know, that's bullshit. Yeah. That's going to be more than 2 years, James. But he's going to go work there. Yeah, everybody else is going to work 32 years. He's going to work, because they take you high. So they're going to get it. Oh yeah, and speaking of that, I'm glad you brought it up. I had a rumor, CJ. I didn't get a chance to tell you that. I just got it today. Um, they have somebody new in mind for city administrator. They're calling in the council to interview someone that they have. For, let's see what they got now: mall manager, ice house guard, lawyer. Everybody except somebody who's qualified to be a city administrator.
That's right.
The first 3 city administrators we had were effective city administrators. We had Alan Silva, Harvard MBA, brilliant guy with numbers. Wasn't the greatest guy in the world for, for cuts. He liked to use a chainsaw, but tough negotiator, knew the numbers, was honest with the mayor and with everybody else. This is where we are financially. Nobody ever had a question of where the finances in the city of Fall River were. He left, went into the foreign service for the federal government, and we got Bob Connors. Very good. Had a labor background. We didn't need to hire lawyers to negotiate contracts. Connors went to the table for the city. Knew finances too. Had worked on a labor side for the police in New York City Police Union. Then he worked for the management side in New York City in negotiating. Had a good grasp of the numbers, knew how to negotiate, knew how contracts had to be funded, knew about numbers, never had a problem in front of the council, but asked them a question, except when he stole our money and we found it, but they tried. But hey, effective. Then he left, and we got Jim Smith, who was a city administrator in another community, had the background for it. And he did a pretty decent job. Then when he left, that's when it went downhill. We hired Kathy Ann Viveris, the mall manager, who knew nothing about collective bargaining, nothing about public, and it went downhill from there. Then we get a lawyer. The lawyer's not a city administrator. A lawyer's a lawyer, and he proved it. The first thing he did when he got appointed is said, I'm not going to do the numbers. That's the whole fucking job. This is what we got in Fall River. Let's see what kind of clown show we're going to have now. Let's see what political hack they dragged in this time. I can't wait to see this one. I can't wait to see who they got. But that's the rumor I got. But like I said, this city is just, I've never seen such corruption in my life. It's crazy. Yeah, how many police chiefs? How many? We got chiefs all over the place. Nobody wants to work in this city because it's a mess. They get hats in hand, and Coogan's got his plan. Don't get somebody qualified. Get somebody that'll do what they're told, doesn't know what they're doing, and we'll let the taxpayers suffer because we're all going to run out of the city like our asses on fire once we're out of office. Or you got people that have got so much money they don't care. They don't care. They're gonna, they're absolutely killing the city. And why? And they keep talking about how the city's doing really great. Well, we're not doing great. It's about illegals. They're going to build market rate housing. Who are they going to put in? Illegals. Look what happened. Did you hear about the 50 mattresses? It was on the news. Somebody, I looked at the name, and I don't like to make assumptions, but I'm saying logically, it appears this guy may be an illegal with a name that sounds
Etienne.
He might be. And the mattresses were from the hotel up at the airport. They dumped 50 mattresses. He dumped 50 mattresses that he was supposedly paid to dispose of illegally. Not bringing them up on charges, but this is another illegal trying to make money. I mean, this is crazy. This is what happens. And then they try to con you and say, oh, no, this isn't happening, or this isn't. It's like the Somalis. They come to this country. They took over, basically, sections of Minnesota. And now there's such a powerful lobby, they allow them to steal money, and they don't do anything. These are the stats. So, because somebody asked them in Congress, a congressman asked, Republican, Do you think they've been an asset to the community and everybody, all the whistleblowers said no, and one guy that was representing, of course, the government, the Democrats, said, oh, yes, they are. So then he asked them these questions. What percentage of Somali heads of household are on food stamps? The guy's answer was, I don't know. So then he gave me the answer. 78% of them are on food stamps. Then he asked them, what percentage of heads of household are on Medicare? Oh, I don't know. 73%. What percentage of heads of household are on welfare? 81%. And what percentage of Somalis that have been here over 10 years speak English? Less than 50%. They came here to get free shit and then rob us on top. They all own daycare centers. They're all millionaires, and 81% of them are on welfare. But this is what they do. And who pays for it? We do. And they're doing it to us in this city. They're filling these things with nobody from Newton's coming down here. Nobody from Wellesley's coming down. They're building all this housing. Who are they going to stick in it? What happened to Point Gloria? Remember, Point Gloria was going to be a crown jewel. I know the guy that had the penthouse apartment. He paid over $300,000 for that apartment, and that was decades ago. 5 years later, it was up for sale because it was Section 8 housing. I mean, how long is this going to last before the voters get off their ass and start voting everybody out of this place, except people that are going to hold these people accountable? Where's this? Let's see what this new school committee does with this. Let's see what this school committee. Yeah, good afternoon, Chris. Let's see what this new school committee does. We cannot continue to allow accountability to be taken away, like this bullshit firefighter list. All of a sudden, we need to use a non-civil service list. Why? Why? Oh, we got to have firefighters on the job. Fuck you, you do. I was a president of the union for 25 years. You know how many times we had vacancies open for an entire year because they wanted to save the money? The city wanted to save the money. They left them unfilled for a year. So they didn't have to pay the benefits and the salaries, and they could get it in free cash at the end of the year. They didn't care we were short men. They don't care that we're undermanned now. There's no reason not to use a civil service list. They're violating the Supreme Court directive. Remember, the veterans' preference, the absolute veterans' preference of Massachusetts went to the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was upheld. We went 2 years without being able to hire anybody off the civil service list. We had to have temporary firefighters till that was adjudicated. It was adjudicated. So you're going to tell me we're going to now adopt a list that allows us to bypass veterans? And not only that, who's going to monitor the list? The same people that allow a guy to steal $2,600 from the PTO and steal Christmas gifts? We're going to allow the wolf to mind the hen house? Who's going to monitor that list? It's going to be a list of friends of the state, friends of the chief, friends of the mayor, friends of somebody. At least civil service gives us a little bit of control. You have to take a test. You have to be in the top 3. No, let them. What are they going to do? Give the test to them? Wait, here's the test. There's all the answers. Just put the numbers down. You get 100 on a test, and you'll be at the top of our bullshit list that we made. Those lists are bullshit. But politicians, they created these lists to circumvent civil service, and civil service was created to give some semblance of accountability and some semblance of lack of politicization. That's what it was made for. And Chris, I hope you speak up on this because this is bullshit. and everything's like no accountability. I want to see what the new school committee does about what's this guy stealing Christmas gifts. I'm telling you, this is nuts.
That's right, Jim.
Oh, no, yeah, well, they do it all the time. They're throwing a finger at us now. I was complaining to somebody who was complaining to me about, well, we want the state audited. I said, well, over 70% of the people in this state said they wanted an audit. Mike Roderick said, oh, you can't audit us because one branch of government can't audit the other branch of government. Well, that's when the audit department wanted to audit them. And what did I say on the show? And I read you guys what it says in the Constitution. It says, all elected officials and magistrates, be they judicial, legislative, or executive. This is the last line. If you want to look it up, go to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Constitution, look at the preamble, then it goes to part of the first, Article 5 in part of the first. The last line, part of the first, says that whether judicial, legislative, or executive, they are at all times answerable to the people. The people demanded that audit, Mike. You should be bound to make that audit. So where are the 70% of the people in the state to get together and throw in $20 a piece to take this to the Supreme Court of Massachusetts? Because they're ducking it because you know something? Minnesota's in a shit because they're looking at it. And guess what? If they audited Boston, half of these reps and some of their friends would be in jail. They think Jazel did shit. Yeah, if they did a real audit, I can guarantee you, a lot of these people would be in the big house. Because this is crazy. I mean, this city's out of control, and we're gonna, this 2 years is gonna be really bad. We're gonna have Diamond. We're gonna, it's give away the store time for Coogan. This is his last term. Let's see how many more jobs we can give out. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, when I read that letter. And you imagine the audacity of that principal to set up a payment plan. Oh, yeah, we know you robbed the money. But you know something? Yeah, you fit. You just pay it back and we'll pretend it never happened. Well, if they didn't like that person, they'd be on the front page of the Herald News. You know something, CJ, maybe we should make a call to Channel 12 investigative reporters.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. They're afraid of being investigated. That's what they are, James. They're afraid of accountability. Every time they've been held accountable for anything, they get caught. Look at Waltz. Waltz is still saying, oh, we did everything we could. Horse shit. They got videos from 2015 of nobody being in these daycare centers and them getting millions of dollars. And that was 11 years ago, 2026. This has been going on for decades.
How about this one? You ready for more waste? Fall River just got $69,000 and change in a grant to expand mental health services in the Fall River School Department. And that money is to be used to smooth the transition from the school to the community services. And for professional development of the teachers to recognize students with mental health issues.
Wow, boy, I got to give them credit, though. They can come up with some real bullshit rhetoric.
And they said it's necessary because of COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. Well, COVID-19, it was so long ago, nobody even remembers it anymore.
That's right.
And the reality is, listen, this is the great Democrat semantic game. Let's use all these sesquipedalian words and make it sound so great, and to smooth. And Curly's going to love that. You know why? Because
she hired a Nazi. She hired a woke person who thinks everyone's a Nazi.
I know, but remember, you know why Curly's going to love this? It'll create a more welcoming environment.
And it will give her the opportunity to hire more friends.
But it'll create a more welcoming environment. And that's what she wants, not educate the kids. They don't give a shit. But they wrap this shit up. Okay, this is the Democrats. Everybody doesn't like pedophiles. Well, we'll take care of that. We got some Democrat pedophiles that are voting for us. Let's call them minor attracted adults. Oh, okay, so that fixes the problem.
That fixes that problem.
Right? That fixes the problem. So they do this with everything. They just change it. Oh, we got a bunch of freaking illegals running in the country. Oh, let's call them undocumented.
That's right.
Well, problem solved. So now we got undocumented rapists and murderers and gang members. But that's what the Democrats do. Let's get a $69,000 grant to do shit. Oh, we're going to smooth the transition. We got, you know how much money we spend for these programs already? Now we got to hire people to smooth the transitions.
Well, what was interesting?
How many adjustment counselors does the school have? About a zillion?
They have one in every school,
one of them?
I believe they have at least one in every school.
Wasn't Coogan one of them?
At one time.
There you go. Look how effective he was. He couldn't even adjust himself. They don't care. No, they don't care, James. Put Chris's up. This is really. Yeah. No, you're right, Chris. Well said. That's right. You know, you can't. And we've got all these people coming into the city, and I am 99% sure that they're filling these things with people that are being subsidized by the state. Healy's sending illegals all over the state to places like Fall River and New Bedford. That's who's going into these market rates because, listen, you and I both know nobody's moving to Fall River. The educational system is a disaster where, you know, the crime, the streets suck. It's a mess. We're a joke. But this is what they got. But they're going to build a fire station down there. That's horse shit, too. That's a waste of money. What happened to the, you know, building it in the right place? There's a Stanley Street's right there at the top of the hill. You got the other one coming in from the airport. That task force, the North End task force, can get there in well within the response time. But no, they got to have one on the corner.
That's
right in the middle of their place because
it's all new. So we got to have a new fire station to make it show. Hey, why don't we go back to precincts? Why don't we go back to precincts so we can put a police precinct down on the wall?
I hope we got some money from the $7 million that Coogan put the lights and the benches down there.
I know.
To put a couple of brand new lights and a couple of benches right near the new fire station that we're going to build and pay for. Because Chris knows that. He was intimately involved in that stuff. $7 million. We were going to get free benches. And we were going to get free lights. And we got money from the feds that he could have helped the people of Fall River. And what important, and Chris was very, very, you know, good. But you know how ridiculous that is? It's like somebody coming up to you and saying, hey, James, I'm going to give you all new gutters. And for free. And you go, no, screw it. I don't want your free gutters. I'm going to go get somebody that was going to charge me $50,000 to put the gutters on my house, okay? Because I'm not going to pay for it anyway. My neighbors are going to pay for it. And that's exactly what he did. $7 million. Yeah. 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 Well, I predicted that about 5 years ago, Gene, at a thing, and I said at some point in time that entire Duval corridor will be a giant homeless camp because that's what's going to happen. Because even if it does have a ridership, they're going to be from out of town. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. What are they? Yeah, what are they going to come down to? Look at fucking buildings? I mean, what are they going to look at? I don't care. You mean there's no place? Wait a minute. Maybe it's me. Are there actually like places to shop in Boston?
Yes, there are.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. And
Hey, I've got one right off the top of my head. Newberry Street. Newberry Street.
Yeah, so they're going to get on a train and come to Fall River where they can get mugged or maybe stabbed or shot.
No, they can come shopping here. They can come shopping here. Fentanyl, cocaine, amphetamines. Got plenty of things you can shop for in Fall River.
This city is on the road to destruction. And somebody at the beginning of the show popped up something. I got to get back to and ask them. Said that our illustrious newly elected vice president, President Cliffy, is going to make a big announcement on WSAR. Maybe it's that he bought the station. Wasn't he trying to buy the station?
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
I'm guessing. There's a rumor to that effect. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's not a political announcement. Maybe it's an announcement that he's now bought We Suck at Radio. And now we can change the name to We Suck Even More at Radio.
Oh, by the way, remember somebody had said on the last show that we should screenshot all of those comments about Trump supporters being Nazis made by Cooney. Well, guess what? They posted all 47 shots. Pictures of her putting up Nazi flags.
Well, you know what? No. So what is Curley going to say? She wrote a glowing report about him. She's going to say, we're hiring a Nazi hunter. She's going to do double duty. She's not only going to be a multi-language, whatever the hell her title is now, but she's also going to be a Nazi hunter. She's going to ferret out all those Nazis.
That's right.
I mean, that woman should not be involved in public education.
No.
Welcome to a blue state. This is what they hire. This is what they hire. Somebody who called everybody who supported Trump a Nazi. They also call everybody who supported Trump an idiot, which is the majority of the city, because remember, Trump won Fall River.
She's not well, if you're talking about Cooney, she's not working for the city until Monday. She starts on Monday. But Colin Dias was told by the lying bitch, Superintendent Curley, that he has no say over her contract, no say over her hiring. The position is already in the school department. So Colin's going to try to make a motion to remove the position.
Well, let's see if he gets it. But I told you, I said on the last show, that's a lie. The superintendent doesn't know her ass from a post hole about collective bargaining law.
The lying bitch.
The administrators union, and I know the president of that union. When I see him, I'm going to tell him that everything they do in the school department violates Chapter 150E to collective bargaining law. As a union, you cannot negotiate for people who are not in the bargaining unit. You are the sole and exclusive bargaining agent for the people who are in the bargaining unit. I could not bargain for firefighters who were not firefighters, who were not in the union, who were not on the job. They were on the list. I had a whole bunch of people that were on a firefighter list come and ask me if I could do this or I could do that. I said, look, I can't do a damn thing for you. You get on the job, we put you in a union. You will pay your dues, but you will not be a permanent member for a year. You will be you will be a member of the union, and we can negotiate your contract. We can negotiate the benefits that you're allowed to get because you're going to be one of the members of the fire department. But even by law, we're prohibited from representing you if the department terminates you within your probationary period, because you do not have the rights under section 41 through 45 to a civil service hearing on termination. You can be terminated during your probationary period for anything that the city wants because you're a probationary. This person was not a member of the union. That contract was bargained for nobody. The school department should have never bargained about that position because it wasn't filled. It should have remained in the way it was in that contract. And then if it got filled and they wanted to raise the salary for the individual, it should have been done separately. They violated, it's an unfair labor practice. They do that all the time. They have people who are not the designated bargaining agents like Kenny Pacheco bargaining. They bargain with individuals, which is prohibited by Chapter 150E. It's called bypassing the union. You cannot bargain with individuals. You have to bargain with the bargaining committee, with the union, not individuals. And they bargain with individuals all the time. And now they're going to say, well, the union bargained it. No, the union didn't bargain it. The guy's not a member of the union. They can't bargain for this Nazi. I'm sorry. It's wrong. But nobody's going to do shit about it because nobody's got the balls on a school committee now. Let's see if the news committee got the balls to sue the city. I'll send you the name of the lawyer. You'll win the case. Everything they do over there is shitting all over 150E, the collective bargaining law. That's why I never lost one of those suits, because I know the law. No, disaster. You're being kind, Josh. Come on. Oh yeah. I mean, we're going to be, they got Tampon Tim in Minnesota trying to duck. We're gonna have Petite. You're muted. You're muted. What's that? You were muted, CJ. I can't hear you. CJ, you're muted. I can't hear you. There you go.
I said, and we have Penis Pumper Paul.
Well, no, look. We got Tampon Tim. We got Petite Paul. Paulie will be up there going, yeah, Tampon Paul. Does a ringer. How about Petite Paul? Or Petite Tampon Paul. That's it for the small Paul, for the smaller ones. Yeah. I mean, but talk about lack of accountability. This city has never.
And it's Tampon Tracy for Tracy Curley.
Yeah, I mean, this city, well, like you said, Democrats, I mean, they're out of their freaking minds. They can throw bricks at law enforcement officers, try to run them down with cars. Then they blame the police. I guess the Democrats, they're always whining. But I guess they always forget that there's a judicial system. You got a problem? You get stopped by a cop. You don't throw a brick at him unless you want to have consequences. You don't try to run him over with your car unless you're in Minneapolis. Yeah, but this is what the Democrats preach, and then they complain about it. They incite it. Somebody gets shot, and they go, well, then the first one they want to do is they want to send everybody to court. All the Democratic judges now take all the Republicans to court to block anything they do. Well, what you do when you get stopped by a police officer or a law enforcement officer is he says, pull over, you pull over. The guy says, give me a license or registration. You don't go fuck you and throw a brick at him. Otherwise you're gonna have some consequences. No, you give me a license, you give me a registration, you get the ticket, then you go to court and fight it. If you think they're full of shit that he did something wrong, file a lawsuit.
That's right.
We got a judicial system for that. But what do the Democrats tell their people? Go out and shoot Charlie Kirk. Try to shoot Trump. Kill everybody that doesn't agree with you. And then we'll say that you are the victims. This one had a stuffed toy in her compartment. Oh, she had stuffed little toy. And she just dropped their kid off. She was a member of an organization. She was there to harass ICE. They know that.
Well, you know what's really weird?
Mainstream media.
You know what's really weird?
Her into another. She's Georgette Floyd. Now they made a criminal, George Floyd, a career criminal, into a hero. Now they're going to make this one into a hero. That she's going to be a hero.
Well, here's the weird thing. I was watching on Newsmax, I think it was.
Yep.
They had video of the ICE agent who shot the woman. Her name's Good. And the comments she made and what she was doing. And they also showed a video of a woman screaming, shame, shame, shame. So the reporter asked, do you have a job? She says, I'm getting paid to do my job now. She was a paid activist. This is the shit they do. They like to stir it all up.
Yeah, yeah. And she was there. She was there with her partner to observe and harass ICE. And that ICE agent had 6 months ago been dragged by a car, had to be hospitalized,
right.
Got numerous stitches in his leg. And it's, like I said, they're making they're making her into Georgette Floyd.
Right.
George Floyd was a career criminal. He had fentanyl in his system. He was a junkie. He had COVID. He had breathing problems. He had a heart condition. And they said the guy killed him. No, he didn't. Guy's a career criminal. Now he's the icon of the Democrats. You wonder these people are batshit crazy. They're nuts. And you're right, James. They condemned the murder. Nobody should be murdered because you disagree with them. I mean, listen. If they extended that right to everybody, there'd be nobody left in the society. Yeah, I don't think they make tampons that big.
It's not tampon, Paul. It's Playtex, Paul.
I think he's going to need a diaper, not just a tampon. I don't know.
In which case, it would be depends, Paul.
Yeah, no, you're right. The narrative blows up, and the irony is, how can anybody with a logical brain say it's okay to throw bricks and bottles and try to run people over who are law enforcement? Oh, you know why? What did the Democrats do? What we said on the first show? You don't like pedophiles? Oh, minor attracted adults. Oh, you don't like illegals? We're going to call them undocumented. That changes everything. No, it doesn't. So now, you know what they call them? They're not law enforcement agents. They're Nazis. They're thugs. I don't care. Do we have people in the police department who behaved incorrectly? Yeah. And then they get sued. The person gets rich, and there's a court system for that. You don't run them over with your car. You don't get to be judge, jury, and executioner because you disagree with their political position. And that's exactly what these morons keep telling everybody, that they have the right to be judge, jury, and executioner. They have now used their semantics manipulation. They're not federal agents. They're thugs. Why? Because you say so? Suppose I say they're Mother Teresa. Well, we have a difference of opinion. What we do know is they're sworn officers. They're federal agents. They put their hand up, they swore an oath, they got a badge. Now, if they abuse that badge, there's a mechanism to deal with them. And it's not running them over with your fucking car. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Yeah, Leering. Yeah, it's the Leering Center. Yeah, that's the way it's spelled in Somalian. Well, like I said, don't worry about it. 81% of them are on welfare. They've been here for 10 years, and 73% are on Medicare, and 75% are on food stamps, and less than 50% of them speak English after 10 years in the country. Oh, they're not here to rape and pillage the country. Yeah, well, they can be as freaking. They can say whatever they want, but I don't give a shit what they say. you cannot provoke law enforcement. This is supposed to be a country of laws. When a police officer or anybody with stops, you've got to comply. You can complain later. You can file lawsuits. You'll have your day in court. You do not get to be violent. And these people have convinced themselves that they have the right to be the judge, jury, and executioner. If you have a different political view, they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. They were hoping that Trump was killed, and yet they try to take the high ground. They're the people with moral superiority. We know we're better than you are. We're the virtue signalers. All the movie actors with their millions of dollars, they're all telling us that we're the people that are thugs and animals. We're not the people that run people over with cars. Like I said, I get stopped by a cop, I'm going to pull over. I'm not going to give the cop any shit. I can give him plenty of shit in court later. I got real good lawyers. But the fact is, I got a real good lawyer as a friend. But that's not the way the society's supposed to work. There was a time when Democrats and Republicans could argue on the floor of the House and in the Senate, but not advocate for the murdering of the other side. But this is where we are now. You know why? Because we got a bunch of commies trying to take over the country, and that's the reality of it. They want this country to be they want this country to be socialist, and they are well financed by commies. Tail Gunner Joe was right over 125 years ago. Yeah. Read about history. Read about Senator McCarthy. He said in the 1950s that the commies are going to take over the colleges, brainwash the kids. They're going to be financed by the rich and the movie industry, and they're going to try to take the country over. And that's what's happened now. All these years later, it took them a long time to get all these liberal wokies into college. And now, what do they get taught in college? It's okay to kill people. It's okay. Well, look, they were siding with Hamas, burning babies and decapitating babies and stuff. And they were saying, it's Israel's fault. So, I mean, the society's out of whack. I don't know how it's ever going to get to. Yeah. That's their priority. Screw the taxpayer, James. Yeah, but it's the Republicans' fault. Yeah, they're trying to protect us from illegal criminals and help our economy and escalate our wages. And by the way, they hate to say it, but the wages for working people are going up in the United States because Trump is getting rid of all these low-paid illegals. But you're right. There's a classic example of where their priorities are. They want to fleece the taxpayer while they're giving billions of dollars for condoms in Bangladesh and drag shows somewhere in some other foreign country. But waste is their middle name, and wastes are what they are. But I tell you, can't wait to see what happens at the school committee with this bombshell. And with this one, this Nazi will be on there. The Nazi hunter. Adolf Eichmann. Is her name Eichmann? Is she related to Eichmann?
No, her name is Cooney. And I will put
money. Well, what was her maiden name? Eichmann? Adolf Eichmann?
I will put money that Colin will bring it up and it won't go anywhere. That Paul is going to, supported by the lying bitch, is going to say that Colin's out of order, that the school committee has no authority, the position exists, and the superintendent has the authority to hire him.
Let me make a suggestion. I will send you the law, and I'll send you the law from 150E. Rather than object, call a point of order and say that the union had no right to bargain that position and salary increase when there was nobody in it right now. In anticipation of this individual's hiring. Should have been done after the fact, and I will give you the law, and you will be right. I don't care what they rule you. If you go to court, you will win. Because no union has the right to bargain for somebody that's not a member of that union.
How about bargain for a blank position?
That's
Nobody's in the position.
Well, you can bargain for bargain for positions if it, but the other. I'm glad you brought that up because that's another thing that he's got for a case. Sometimes you can bargain for positions. Like, in other words, if you get a raise for firefighters, there may be 5 vacancies for firefighters. But if you negotiate for firefighters, when somebody gets on a job, they're going to get that salary because there were firefighters already in that position, and it was for that's a standalone position. There's nobody else with that job.
That's right.
A specific job. It's a standalone position. Therefore, it has to be bargained as a standalone position, and you can't bargain for it if there's nobody in the fucking thing. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. So it is what it is. But I would call a point of order and let Coogan start shitting all over himself because he has no idea what a point of order is. And he can't deny a point of order, by the way. If he tries to rule you out of order, you tell him you don't have the right to rule a point of order out of order until I tell you what the point of order is.
That's right.
So, that's why they would never want me on it. I'd get locked up at every meeting. They'd be carrying me out. Like I said, I will not resist the police, but they'll have to carry me out. Yeah, go make some noise.
There you go. Well, this has been an interesting show. Started a little late, but as usual,
yeah, we got it covered. We really didn't run over because we started like 3 minutes late, so we're 2 minutes under.
Yeah. So I want to thank you all for watching. It's going to rain, and remember Sunday, Patriots game. If you're a big Patriots fan, and we'll see how they do. So hopefully they win or lose, depending on what side of the fence you're on. I want to thank you for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a great day.
Don't get arrested, Fatima.